Hey, welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are your hosts, Denise
and Rexy, and we are recording with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
And we're broadcasting from our galaxy to yours.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Hey,
what is up?
Pirates. Pirates. Pirates is up. Man, I'm loving this show so much. Speaking of that, I guess before we dive into it, this is your spoiler warning.
Yes, we are talking about Skeleton Crew. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Although now the show is officially over, so I think most of you have watched it by this point.
Yeah.
But we are still going to throw that out there.
Yep.
And
so if you're trying to catch up or, just haven't quite had time to finish it off, we are going to be talking about episode 6.
Yes.
What's the name of this one?
This one is called Zero Friends Again.
Oh, okay.
This was a good episode. Did you know this is the one that breaks Dallas Howard?
Yep.
You guys, my hair is like...
She's done 3 or 4 of the major fan favorites now, hasn't she?
Yeah,
across the shows.
Ahsoka, she did a fan favorite.
She did Mandalorian. She did the Return of the Mandalorian, I think. That was her episode. I feel like. And then I know
she didn't do Ahsoka. She did the episode with Ahsoka in Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
Because she did Dave Filoni.
And Book of Boba Fett too. She did something in.
She did one of the Mandalorian episodes in Book of Boba Fett. She didn't do anything in Ahsoka. That was all Dave Filoni.
Yeah. That makes sense, though. I mean, it's a show entirely about.
But
Ahsoka.
She did 2 or 3. She does an episode every season for the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
She did my favorite one. A lot of people hated this episode in The Mandalorian, but the one with Jack Black and Lizzo, that was her hired gun.
I remember people did not like it. I thought it was fun.
I thought it was a fun episode.
It was a weird, kind of pulled me out of the universe a little bit, but I still had a good time with it.
But it was an episode where we needed to see, I thought there was so much story building in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you just look at it at just surface level for that Mandalorian one, I know we're supposed to be talking about Skeleton Crew, but I want to talk about this first. But that Mandalorian episode, we saw kind of what happened to all the droids that from the Clone Wars, they were recommissioned to help out, but then we also saw that there were still some loyalists to the Separatist cause. We also see what happened to Imperial officers and how they were not reprogrammed, but Jack Black, he was an officer for the Empire.
Oh, that's right, he was.
And he came over and he went through their training, and so we see that the New Republic was offering a way for them to kind of atone for what they did and come back in with different working positions. Then we also see Bo and Din fight for the saber. She didn't fight Din, no?
No,
Axe.
Because he refused to fight her.
Axel. She fought
Axe.
For the saber. So there was a lot in that episode, but it was also really fun, especially with Grogu and
Lizzo and Jack Black, and it was bright and colorful and happy.
Not everything has to be dark.
As George was quoted literally on TV saying, "This was made for 12-year-olds."
It really was. And this show is a perfect example
oh god, this show is just
of being made for 12-year-olds.
Yep.
I am a 12-year-old at heart.
Same. I've loved it. Start to finish.
I
wish that this would have been a 12-episode show. I would have loved just 4 more episodes of this super incredibly fun ride that we have been on.
Although
it was just a blast, start to finish. It was just fun.
Although I think now that we have seen the finale, I think the way the story closed up, I think 8 episodes.
I did too. Yeah.
Good. I think if it
I
was,
just would have liked 4 more just for that. For the fun of it, literally.
I think if they would have dragged it out to 12, it might have been a little bit too much. I think so. The pacing was really good with this show.
Yeah,
it progressed really well.
It never really got slow.
No.
You know? There were never big exposition, scenes, but it's a show for children. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a show about kids, for kids. And it, harkening back to, we keep mentioning this, the Goonies and Stand By Me and E.T., all of those movies are, there's Easter eggs throughout the show that just nods to all of these great 80s kids movies. And none of them were super duper heavy on, story time,
Although we say that.
Fast-paced and keep it moving.
We say that, but this episode did get a little bit heavy. This was that one episode, because this is the one, No Friends Again. And we learn what happened with KB. We see that she has to have these cylinders continuously.
Was this the one where she was on the, alone with Neil?
Yeah.
They had split up?
Yeah, this is the episode where they split up. Neil is with KB.
Yep.
And then, Neil is with Fern, and Wim is with KB.
That's
which
right. It's a really unlikely duo.
I was so glad that they had this duo instead of because I feel like Fern and Wim are very similar in wanting to take action and be the leader. They act before they think sometimes.
Yep.
Fern not as much as KB, or not as much as Wim. But then you have Neil and KB, who are very thoughtful about what they do. They think about all the consequences, how it affects everybody. So I think if they would have been together, there would have been no story progression or character development. So they needed to be mixed to have that development for each character to learn. Fern and Wim to learn to slow down, for Neil and KB learning to kind of take more action.
Right. Because
step up a little bit.
We see Neil and Wim paired up the entire show, and we see Fern and KB they're besties. They are. This is how they're going through life, right? So KB is a really, really good example of a child living with a disability, trying to keep up with her peers, who aren't really taking into consideration that she has a disability or has a difference that does slow her down in some capacities, that does change her abilities. And that doesn't make her less, but she thinks it does.
Yeah.
And we see in this scene, we get to see her with Wim, where, Wim knows there's something wrong. He doesn't have a clue how to fix it. And she's like, well, we can work through this, right? I'll talk you through it. By this point, she is really shutting down. Her circuits are in bad shape.
Fully physical. And it also goes to show how, her...
important.
I don't want to touch base on that. Remember, their moms were talking about how they couldn't...
She needs her maintenance.
Or her life support. They couldn't sense her life support anymore.
Because they have a tracker in her since her accident. And they want to be able to monitor her.
We never knew to the extent what her, what's the word I'm looking for?
Injury?
Well, we didn't even know it was an injury. For all we knew, it could have just been, before this episode, just cybernetic upgrades.
You don't seem to know what you're saying, so I'm just throwing out words.
So no. So before this, we knew she had the cybernetic upgrade, with the visor thingy. Mm-hmm. But we did, for all we knew at that point, before this episode, it was just that.
Right.
We had no idea the extent of it, because this could have had any kind of tracker.
Right.
But now we see, no, it's so much more as they opened up her neck. And so I don't think even Wim knew that she had maybe an accident. Does anybody know?
Well, no, because she was just telling him that story. He wanted to know, why she had these things. She starts talking a little bit about the accident. Doesn't get very much, though. But what she does get into is the fact that she is terrified that if she doesn't keep up with Fern and do everything Fern can do, she'll be alone. She'll lose her best friend, because that's what's happened to her in the past.
Back to zero friends.
Yep. So she is terrified that if she can't do everything that Fern does, she's going to be left behind. So she pushes herself in these terrible atmospheric conditions for her cybernetic devices until they are crashing and malfunctioning, and she is literally about to die.
And that
because she's so afraid of being alone.
And that was like a good. I think this was also played into a lot of growth for Wim as well, because like I was saying earlier, Wim, he's reacted like he reacts.
Mm-hmm. He's very emotional.
He doesn't
very naive.
Stop to think about, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. Mm-hmm. Like, because the whole time up to here, he was complaining it's not enough adventure.
Right. We're gonna have to go back and take our exams.
Like, Wim, what do you mean this is not enough adventure? Right. You have stolen a pirate ship. You have been thrown into pirate jail. Like, you have
almost been unalived so many times.
You escaped pirates. You escaped
a lot of.
You fought X-wings. Like, you have gone to this like kind of sketchy like spa. You've gone and dug for treasure.
Right?
Like literally,
this is a lot of adventure.
You escaped Jod. Like,
again.
How is this not enough? But I think this made him realize there is more to life than just having these adventures, and there are real life problems.
Consequences.
And like seeing KB on that level, I think it made him realize, because after this, now that we've watched all the episodes, this was definitely like a turning point for him.
Right.
Because we see it affect him more the next 2 episodes after learning that about KB.
And I would say exactly the same with Fern and Neil, because she also was forced to slow down. You know, when you see her at the beginning of the show riding around with KB, you see them just like flying on their hoverbikes, right? Like flying, do whatever she wants. Her mother is really high up, kind of gets away with everything and doesn't really have to deal with consequences. And she is very, very able-bodied. She's very physically fit. Mm-hmm. And Neil has these itty-bitty legs and itty-bitty arms. And
like sausage finger.
Little guy. And she is also forced, kind of in the same way that, women KB are, she is also forced to slow down and take into consideration her partner's differences and how that may change how they're able to do things. So this is a really big learning episode for both Fern and Wim, but then also for KB and Neil. Like, KB learns that she has to put her foot down. She has to have some boundaries. Yeah. She has to respect her limits. Neil learns that he has some guts that he probably didn't know he had.
Especially climbing up that mountain. Like, I was like, dude, your ears are going to start flapping and hitting your face as you climb up, because naturally it gets windier like the higher up you go, especially on the cliff. And as you see all these I can't talk today, you guys. Funny story, so I was at work today. The guy just came in and he's like, how's your memory? And I just turned around and looked at him and was like, my brain's not even functioning at this point. So not well. He's like, well, maybe you can redeem yourself right now. And I said, shoot, throw it at me. Completely misinterpreted everything he said. And I was like, I warned you.
You did say.
I warned you. I thought you said the stuff was at the customer, and it's actually sitting right out there in our own warehouse. Yeah. I was like, I warned you.
You did.
I warned you.
You did. He knew what he was walking into.
Oh, my brain is not there.
It's really not.
Like, but as he was climbing up the mountain, and he also, I don't think Neil necessarily ever had an issue with vocalizing, hey, let's slow down, we need to think about this.
Right.
I think
that was always his driving forces. Talk to each other. You don't have to fight.
We're friends. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Let's think about this first. Let's run all the possibilities. I think
nobody ever listened to that poor kid.
But I think this was his process. Like, his learning was stepping out and just taking that chance without thinking of all the possible bad outcomes.
Right. Sometimes you just have to do it.
And like it really piggybacked off the previous episode where they're at Akron and learning about being brave more. And he definitely in this episode he steps up.
Yeah,
he
did.
We see it as he's climbing up. I love the fact that Fern tied the rope around him.
Yeah. The case. Yeah.
But like as I saw that, I was like, Fern, you're not going to be able to hold him.
If he falls,
that's tugging you. Like, did we not learn anything from the first episode? Remember when it wasn't Fern though, it was Neil and Wim, and they were out in the forest, and they go to jump down to go find the Jedi temple.
Yep.
And he's holding the rope, and Wim jumps. Neil goes flying. Like, Neil, did you not learn?
No.
Gravity.
So slow.
Gravity.
No.
You're falling. Fern's falling. Like,
no. She's just like, I got you. I don't know, man.
I'll just latch on here.
We'll be okay.
I was like, dude, better not slip. Like, but yeah, so it was definitely Neil stepping up, and it. At first, so while we were watching this, I was like, this is so boring.
Oh, he didn't like this one?
Said at first. Okay. He's like, all they're doing is talking. I was like, yeah, but you have to show growth. And they showed growth while in a cool setting with trash droids. They were so cute. I
am bummed that they tried to eat them.
Calling it now. We are going to see these everywhere at convention. I 100%.
I would love that. That would make me happy.
And then when the big one came out,
oh my gosh,
Owen immediately was like, "Shy!" Singing the song from Moana.
Oh, that is delightful.
I was like,
we need a big bedazzled one.
Although, fun fact, his name, he was referred to as Tetnis. It's like TET-NES.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Man, that was exciting too. Watching, Wim's all like, we get fighting to follow them, and then you see him, he runs up on his mouth. He's like, why am I so bad at knowing you're the good guy? He really is. Why do we keep being wrong? Whatever that quote was, it was so funny. Why do we keep being wrong about who the good guy is?
Wim, just because you're 10 and young and naive, and
this is how children work. You guys don't know yet.
You just blindly trust people.
Yep.
You have not.
They have a lightsaber and can use the Force. It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah. He never said he was a Jedi.
No, he never did.
He just looked and was like,
They assumed, and he let
Do
him.
you think I'm a Jedi? Like, yeah.
They just let Wim believe whatever he wanted. And he wanted to believe so bad. So bad.
So bad that he was a Jedi. Yeah, that whole scene, that was fun. And that's where Owen started to enjoy the episode. But I will say, you gotta give credit to Fern and Neil for diving off those rocks onto the ship.
And then the way they were writing it was so Falcor. Have you ever seen the Never Ending Story?
Have I ever seen the Never Ending? What is wrong with you? I still have one of my friend's books that I never returned back. Matt loves it. Matt listens to it every year. Matt has a Falcor tattoo.
Oh, really?
Well, instead of it being the luck dragon, it's actually a Chinese dragon. That's based off of Falcor. And he wants to get the the statues that he walks through during the trials.
Yeah.
He wants to get those.
He
also wants to get Moira.
Yeah,
the has all these ideas, and every time I'm like, go get one, he's like, I'm good. I'm like, then I'm gonna go get a tattoo.
Oh, I love that. I named that big white dragon that Eric bought me for Christmas or something. I named it. Nice. But yeah, that's all I could think of. Was like they're on the back of it, and the angle was so exactly like when they were writing.
But yeah, no, that I was just like, that took some guts. That took a lot of guts. Like, it was beyond impressed. Like, I don't know if I would have. I guess maybe because we're adults now. Like,
yeah, we know what the consequences are.
If you miss that, you're going straight to
You may not understand that as a 12-year-old. Like,
well, I guess they needed the ship. If I didn't need the ship, I would have kept like climbing.
Yeah.
But they knew Jod was there. Mm-hmm. They knew the pirates were there.
Yep.
They knew
had to get a
they
ship.
Had to get away. And if they would have kept going up, they would have got caught by somebody.
Yep. But so they jumped on the back of a ship.
I was so worried that we were not going to get any more of the onyx cinder.
Oh, really? After the crab?
Well, because the crab, I was like, it kept clawing. I'm like, how are you guys going to get out? I'm like, there's no way. It is so like.
You thought it was just going to eat the ship?
I thought they were
I did too. I thought they were going to have to bail out.
I thought they were going to pull another Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Where they just kill the Razor Crest. Yep. And I was like,
They did not, though. They shed its barnacle-encrusted pirate ship armor plating and emerged with a brand new, shiny, clean spaceship all to themselves.
Not expecting that.
Me neither. I didn't even know that could happen.
I don't think anybody was expecting it. So you weren't there when we watched it, but we watched it on New Year's Eve with everybody at Chris and Dina's house. Yeah. And we were all like, oh my God.
I didn't even know you could just like shed your armor plating. I didn't know that
could happen. But it makes sense that something could happen like that.
Right. You get caught up in a tractor beam or something, you have like one last ditch emergency thing to try.
Yeah, especially they're like, when never press it, they're like, press the button.
Yep.
It is like, I was like,
that was awesome. I definitely see why they say to press it. Like, you can't undo that action.
Once that is done,
your armor is gone.
You're exposed.
Yep. But they lived. They were able to get away.
They did live. They were able to get away. They got out. I was kind of nervous there for a minute. I thought they were going to get eaten and crushed in that, like, there's one point
because it was so close.
It was, well, it was attached to it because it couldn't back out because it was so latched in.
I know, that's why I'm saying
I was
it was
like,
so
dude,
close. They almost got eaten.
Like, you guys need to get out of this.
I thought they were going to have to, like, bail, like, eject or something.
I honestly thought they were going to also. Sorry, my phone is, like, going off crazy with notifications. Okay. But I was just like, holy moly. But it was great. Now, the big question is, are they going to build a Lego set of that too?
I mean, how would they know? Right?
Like, after the episode, I was like, my Lego doesn't do that?
Right?
Why doesn't my Onyx Cinder Lego do that? I wanted to do that.
Or the crab. It would be a really, really cool set to be able to build that giant trash crab.
I can see Kevin trying to figure out a way.
Oh my goodness.
Trash crab.
Yes, I can see that.
Crab.
Yep. Kevin, trash crab. Giant trash crab. Go around as your Jawa and collect all the parts to make your giant trash crab, and then you build a giant trash crab.
Yeah.
And you get in it. Crawl around convention floors in it. Make it happen, Kevin.
I wonder if people will see something like that at a celebration. Although it's kind of hard to get transport, especially into Japan.
It's Japan instead of the States.
But I can't wait to see some of the costumes. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of skeleton crew stuff. I think now.
Steve, I mean, I would bet on it.
I think now because of the pirates in it, we're going to see a lot more like swarzy pirates out there. Like we already have we have some, especially with Hondo. We see people
like Hondo.
Kind of have like their what's the I'm totally drawing like, so never mind.
Okay.
My brain shut
down. That's okay. Whatever it was, it'll come back.
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna come back.
Well, if it doesn't, then
it's alright.
That's okay.
But yeah, I think we'll see more Swarzy pirates out there.
Yeah.
And
I think we're gonna see a lot of skeleton crew inspired.
I've already seen people in costumes.
Have you really?
Silvo is going to be a big costume this year.
Oh yeah.
Especially with that helmet. It's so cool.
I know. That was. I mean, we only saw him in it for just a little while, but that was really cool.
He put it back on in this episode, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was put on trial.
Yep.
By Brutus or Bruto.
Not Bruce.
Brutus?
No, I think it might be Brutus.
I think it might be Brutus too. And he had to and that's where we learned about the shanty, isn't it?
I don't remember honestly which episode we got it, but I was so excited because we were talking in an episode about how bad we wanted the sea shanty, and then we actually got one.
No, I think it was this episode because Jod was trying to make a case for himself not to be thrown out of airlock, and he talked about Tack Renard.
Renard. Yeah, because that was the old pirate,
and the shanty's about him, and he sang part of the shanty.
He didn't sing very much of it, but he sang part of it.
And so I was like, we need.
I want you guys to release the entire CD, please.
Or it sounded like there were supposed to be multiples of them.
That'd be amazing. I mean, I would be happy with one full one.
Yeah,
but I would love it.
That reminds me of this song from Sometimes I wish you could just see things that pop up in my brain. No, it reminds me when we read The Courtship of Princess Leia, and when 3PO was with Han Solo, and he created this song about Han Solo, how he's the man. I have all the lyrics at home. I have it saved in my book.
Oh, that's so happy. To help him woo Princess Leia. Naming Leia with this song he wrote about freaking Han Solo.
It was so ridiculous.
It was delightful. I'm just trying to picture Yep.
But I want the whole shanty.
I do too. I would love an entire soundtrack. Star Wars. That would make me incredibly happy. I love sea shanties. I have several playlists of different sea shanties saved on my music device.
So I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping that this episode, because we were still on Lanupa, that we were going to get Hondo. That was
I thought we might. The timing could have been,
Yeah, he would have been older, but I think this would have been a great setting to even just see him kind of as a cameo,
even in the background.
I didn't
sitting at a bar somewhere would have been
wanted to see him hanging out with other pirates. Yeah. I was really, really hoping that on Lanupa he would be there hanging out.
I would have really liked that.
Chilling in the mud bath.
I think it would have been so fun to just see him even briefly interact with that. Even briefly, it just would have been a really fun scene.
Oh, him with Pocket.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been fun. That would have been a lot of fun. I liked her.
You know who I do think, going in a different route, but I think that we are probably going to see Kim more. I think we're going to see her again. She was such an interesting character. I would definitely bet on seeing her again at some point in the future.
I could see her being brought in. All right, I got an idea storming.
Okay, let's have it.
They never pan out, but Lucasfilm, Star Wars, you need to bring me on because I got some fantastic ideas. Kim, she would be perfect for Ahsoka, especially now.
Oh my gosh!
Because in Ahsoka and Sabine are stuck in that galaxy.
Yep,
different galaxies.
She knows everything.
It would make sense for them to partner up with Kim
to get home.
For Hera and Ezra, because Kim's in our galaxy.
Right.
Same with Ezra and Hera.
Right.
To find a way to jump to that other galaxy to get Ahsoka and Sabine.
Kim would be
bring him back.
The person,
Here,
maybe the consultant.
This is how you need to go to this jump point to get there.
Because she has all these routes. She's got all these coordinates, all these books and maps and ancient knowledge. I mean, like, this is like her life's work, apparently.
She would be perfect.
Yeah, she would. And I mean, the symbolism of having a flying owl-like creature too. You know,
have you heard the rumor that Kenobi is gonna be in the new Ahsoka season?
Oh no, I haven't.
There's rumors that, like, you know how they did the flashback with Hayden.
They might do that with Kenobi.
Yeah, have Hayden and Kenobi in the same flashback, so we get to see the like armored up Jedi Kenobi.
Hey, that would be so happy. Yeah,
like that would be legit.
I love Clone Wars Kenobi.
But yeah, it was there was some rumor that was listed on some Star Wars guy like Patreon.
Yeah.
I don't know how legit his rumors are.
Yeah. Rumor's a rumor though, right?
Yeah.
But it would be pretty cool. I wouldn't be mad about it.
It would be pretty cool. Rumors are so hit and miss in Star Wars, and if one person hears it, then it just like
it goes and it grows and
ignites like a wildfire. Kind of like, I don't know now, like that Roto rumor. Remember Jabba the Hutt's son? Oh, did you see the Clone Wars movie? So where they introduced Ahsoka was in a Clone Wars movie that this show was based off of.
Okay.
And they introduced Ahsoka. She's assigned to Anakin as her Padawan. And part of it was they were saving Jabba's son, Roto, which was this little baby slug that she would carry around backpack.
Adorable.
And the rumor is that he's going to be in the Mandalorian Grogu movie. Which now there's also rumors that Mandalorian's going to have a season 4 after the movie.
I did see that. Just today, actually, I was reading.
You're a little bit behind, dude. I was like a week ago.
I don't.
I know. But I don't know. I don't know. I think Mandalorian, if you're going to make another season of anything, I think at this point, Mandalorian's like your safe bet.
Yeah, people love that show.
Especially, we already know Andor last season's coming out here in April. I don't think we're going to get another season of Skeleton Crew.
They wrapped it up so well.
They wrapped it up really well.
Like, without saying anything else. I don't see a reason.
I don't see a reason. I could see like possibly like having like a cameo later of maybe or referencing at Atten in the shows. I don't necessarily think it's something that they have to go back to.
What might be interesting, I wouldn't mind seeing in like some other shows down the road, cartoons, books, whatever, just some of the other planet stories.
Yeah.
And just, what was their thing? Like, what was their,
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of other Star Wars stuff kind of going on right now. I think Star Wars is holding back on releasing kind of anything until April for Celebration
that would make
Japan.
Sense. And we'll get, of course, announcements and trailers and exciting previews and things like that once Celebration actually rolls around.
We should do an episode of predictions we think we're gonna get from Star Wars Celebration Japan.
Ooh, that would be really fun.
A prediction episode, and then after,
which ones came true? If any of them came true.
We're not very good at guessing stuff.
We're not, but we try.
And we come up with some really good ideas.
Yeah, we do. So, you
really
can
good
always
ideas.
Us for ideas.
But with that, I think we were done with today's episode.
I think so. This was a good one. It was a fun one. So go watch it.
Yeah. Again, follow us at Traveling Bantha on everything.
We have a Patreon.
Maybe
if you're not signed up for the Patreon, you can sign up. It's only $3 for the lowest tier. You get stickers and behind the scenes, and, exclusive episodes every month.
We may see you on TikTok. We may not.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll find out. So finding the fun from our galaxy to yours.
May the force be with you.
Oh, yes, I got it right.
Yeah, you did.
Thank you for listening to Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha, written and produced by Denise McKay.
Edited and produced by Rexy Jupiter. Original logo design by Tyler Rigney.
Intro and outro music is provided by the Galactic Empire.
You can find us on all streaming platforms at Travel and Bantha.
And join our Discord for fun-filled galaxy chats.
You can also sign up for our Patreon starting at just $3. You get exclusive episodes, merch, behind the scenes, and more.
And a special thanks to all our Jedi Knight members and higher. We have Rooney, Michael Beavers, Mark Collier, and James Peake. From our galaxy to yours,
may the Force be with you.
Always.